Here with Maya.
Hey guys.
Hopefully you can see us and not be blinded by the light. Come to the light.
Right.
So today we're talking about what breakups leave behind. As you know, breakups can be incredibly painful and unpleasant, and really just downright ugly, depending on if you are the victim of the breakup or not. And so we'll be talking today about some of the problems associated with breakups. And one of those things that occurs is revenge. Not always, but sometimes. You put all this time and energy and effort in a relationship and money, and then you kind of ask yourself, why me? Why did this happen to me? Well, yeah, I need revenge now. I need to make you feel what I feel. And then the others are loneliness and self-worth. And Maya's going to talk a little bit more in detail about those problems, and then we'll come up with some solutions to help you through your breakups. Maya?
Yeah, so there's the main points of like what breakups leave behind tends to be that revenge aspect. Breakups themselves, they're unpleasant, they're painful, sad, all these negative feelings associated with it, and they can ultimately fuel some anger. Because when you think about it, in the hours after a breakup, you're playing the details of your relationship, every moment you spend with that significant other, the good, the bad, the ugly, maybe the really ugly. And that stirs up feelings of anger. You think about all the negative things that happen in your relationship, all the negative aspects of maybe the other person that you were in a relationship with. Maybe some components of the breakup is unfair to you. Maybe you feel like the breakup itself is unfair. Like, why did this happen to me? Maybe you're the person that has been broken up with. And so you might definitely be having some feelings of anger, wanting to get even. Maybe you're wishing ill will on the person. Maybe you want them to suffer as much as you're suffering, or to be in as much pain and sadness as you are in. It's natural for us to go for that revenge aspect. So that's one key problem that a breakup, that you can be left with after a breakup. The next problem is loneliness. So, in a relationship, there's two of you. You probably spend almost every waking moment with each other. It's that companionship, it's that partnership. With a breakup, that partnership is broken, that bond is broken. And suddenly the two entities now becomes one. It's just you. Okay? If you don't have any coping skills, and maybe in the relationship you've given your all, you put so much effort into this relationship that maybe you didn't take time for yourself, so now all the effort that you put into that relationship, now you're left with nothing. So that can stir up feelings of loneliness. You might be saying it to yourself, what am I going to do? I'm all by myself. Especially if you don't have any coping skills for how to bounce back, how to, bring it back to you, and, living on your own and as an independent person. Another thing breakups leave behind is that aspect of like the self-blame portion. Trying to think of the best way to explain it so you guys can follow me. But yeah, you tend to blame there's a lot of blame. You start feeling, guilt, the failure. That's a big one, is that failure, the not being able to make the relationship work, not being able to solve all those problems that went on in the relationship. And, really sometimes when you have to think about it, sometimes we hold on to something that in the end, it's probably for the best that we needed to let it go. And sometimes I'm trying so hard to keep this thing still.
Technical difficulties, everybody.
And you know, we tear ourselves down. We tend to tear ourselves down based upon, you know, the failure of the relationship. Because, you know, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. I know we tend to look at breakups as that negative, but there's ways that you can turn it into a positive, ways that you can solve that revenge aspect, that loneliness aspect, that failure, guilt, shame, self-blame aspect. There's a way that you can bounce back and really heal yourself. So I think Adina is going to talk about the solutions with me. You know, one of the solutions is, I always look at it as that's a time to take care of yourself. You know, that we talk about self-care in our field, and that's very important even after a breakup. A lot of times we put so much of the other person and the us into a relationship. Sometimes we forget about ourselves. So this is your time to bring it back to you. You know, maybe you're an artistic person, you like arts and crafts. Maybe you want to take a pottery class. Maybe there's, you know, pottery lessons in Richmond that you always wanted to take. Okay, well, go do it. This is your time. This is you. This is for you. You know, maybe there's places that you wanted to travel, things that you wanted to see. Go do it. Go do it. This is your time. Take care of yourself. Heal yourself. Focus on you. Find your identity.
Ooh, I like
apart from that relationship that you were in. Define who you are.
Yeah, those are all great solutions. I would just add, there are times too in relationships in which we are very focused on the other person and doing things with that other person, and spending all of our time with our partner, that they become our best friend and our soul confidant. And so all the best friends that you've had prior, you sort of lose connection with. And so maybe now is a good time to reconnect with a couple of friends. Maybe you go on a 2-week road trip and pick up your girlfriends or guy friends and, you know, just spend some time working on those relationships, you know, things that really filled you up and made you feel good about yourself. So that's just it's another way to kind of work on you. Yeah. Any other solutions?
I think that best friend component. Yeah, that's important, because we do tend to leave those other relationships behind because we're filling ourselves up with the current significant other relationship that we are in. So yeah, don't forget about your friends.
Don't forget about them. Yeah, they love you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So while you're making plans to pick up your friends and go on this epic road trip, we will be here. If you need us, if you need some more support, you can always contact us at adinasilvestri.com and go to the contact page. We will not be outside. We're going to go inside because, yeah, it's a little dangerous out here. We're finding out. So, right. And so next week, Maya's going to be talking about loneliness, and how to make those connections count. So stay tuned to her blogs, on our blog page, again at adinasilvestri.com, and I'll add the link to this current blog in the comments section. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.